Neuroxus gives the appearance of an Armored Core-like game, but is actually something narrower and more specific. It is a mecha roguelite that copies Armored Core's combat model with permanent roguelite progression in a sleek Tron aesthetic. For something made by a solo developer, I was surprised by how good movement felt and how quickly the game was able to trigger a flow state. But even when the game is working, something still feels a little off. So what happens when a game understands flow, but struggles to make power felt? This game has Armored Core style movement, a roguelite structure, and a fixed mech identity. There is no buildcraft in Neuroxus. Your mecha is fixed, and you select upgrades that boost your preset weapons and abilities. In this game, you do not express identity through customization, but you do express mastery through execution. Upgrades are permanent across missions, giving you a gradually increasing power curve. I've only played through the first 3 missions so far, but each upgrade appears to be percentage modifiers to damage, cooldown time, move speed, regeneration, and other relatively bland options. Neuroxus is not really asking you what kind of mecha pilot you want to be, but it is asking how cleanly you can pilot what it is giving you. The game is fast and very responsive. If you played Armored Core 6, you will immediately be able to pick this game up and play it. Energy management is crucial, just like in Armored Core. If you overheat, you'll be stunned for a moment and left vulnerable, so restraint and intelligent use of your boosts is rewarded. You're also given a number of weapons with different cooldowns: a machine gun, a sword, a rocket launcher, a laser, a plasma gun, a plasma cannon, and I see options for what appears to be a freeze grenade and a flamethrower, though it seems like those are unlocks that come later in the game. One quirk is that you can get upgrades for weapons you have not yet progressed to unlock. Surely a design oversight, or perhaps intentional, since you can replay missions for more score, and I assume more permanent upgrades. The game encourages you to weapon cycle and a mental cadence of running through your weapons, ammo, and cooldowns to determine what to use and when is genuinely engaging. The flow state starts emerging from dodging enemy fire, cycling through your weapons, and then counterattacking. Reaction speed is not as important as timing and discipline. This is a precise game. It knows exactly what kind of attention it wants to get from the player and knows exactly how to get it. Neuroxus is not perfect though. The issues I have noticed are not about balance or difficulty, which I think are actually completely fine. The problem is that weapons don't feel heavy and hits don't feel consequential. Many times it feels like you are just dumping damage into enemies that doesn't have much visual feedback on the enemies or the mecha you are piloting. Hits don't feel consequential until suddenly they are when the enemy dies. Speed without impact creates a subtle friction which makes enemies feel spongy even when they are tuned not to be. This is not a numbers issue, but a sound, hit stop, visual recoil, and enemy responsiveness issue. You can be doing the right thing mechanically and still feel like you're shooting blanks. There are also enemies that have color-coded shields. These shields require specific weapon types to bring down before you can actually damage the enemy. So far, I have only encountered blue shields, which can only be brought down by your sword or plasma gun. Early on, this doesn't feel like an issue, but I can absolutely see it becoming one later in the game. The color-coded shields and cooldown management create scenarios where you are punished for not saving specific weapons, just in case they appear, leading to a break of the flow state when you encounter one you are not pre-planning for. It works great on the bosses, but not so much against individual enemies. I can only imagine that later in the game, there will be multiple different shields to deal with at the same time, which I fear might slow combat down too much. The good version of this rewards prioritization and expression. The bad version hits you with a cooldown tax and breaks combat flow. I'm reserving judgment on this for now. This game also has no handholding. There is very little tutorialization, and you're expected to learn as you go. The game explains a few concepts, but overall, it's up to you to figure out the game and experiment. The downsides are obvious. The UI does not explain itself, and delayed understanding of what the UI is telling you undermines confidence. Ambiguity is fine early on, but it does become a problem later if precision is demanded without offering clarity. Neuroxus is also not trying to wow you with its story. It is very simple. Robots have taken over the planet, and it's up to you to take down their central AI control called Nexus. That's it. The story is a flavor and a backdrop for the actual language of the game. The real language is one of spacing, speed, heat management, and rhythm. The game is very close to something compelling. This solo developer clearly understands flow, but may not have fully learned how to communicate power yet. Neuroxus works moment to moment, but the combat feel is slightly holding it back. If impact were solved through feedback, I think this would be a compelling action roguelite instead of just the functional one it currently is. If you are a fan of mecha games, I highly suggest checking this out. There is a demo available on Steam, and if you do, please let me know what you think of the game in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more content.